Welcome to Banter, Super Bowl weekend. Tonight on the broadcast, you have myself, Bernard Muhammad, Tammy Harris, Keith Flournoy, Jaye Beasley, and Guy Moore be jumping on in a few minutes. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm
Great.
good.
Good.
Y'all doing good?
How
I'm
you?
good.
Yeah, man. This season much faster than I thought, man. I mean, now we're at the Super Bowl, and it seems like the season just started.
Yeah, for the sake we didn't
Okay,
think we was gonna have no season. It went by
that's
real
true.
quick.
Right.
It went
So
by real quick.
if Tampa Bay wins, does that mean we get to claim that we beat the Super Bowl champions?
No comment.
right. Oh man.
No
Everybody else
comment.
beat us though, right? So,
Right. No comment. No comment.
Hey, this season, looking at this season, one of the strange things were when they start talking about this season, a lot of the pundits had Kansas City and Tampa going before the season started. But as the season went on, Tampa was a team that you scratched off that, to me it was times that I'm like, I don't even know if they're going to make the playoff, as far as making a Super Bowl. But I guess when it all came down, it ended up being the two teams that a lot of people thought was going to be there in the first place, huh?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's amazing that again the quarterback position is key,
it's everything.
and the bottom line is without Tom Brady, the Bucks wouldn't have made it to the Bucks would have not made it this far. So it is what it is. The quarterback position is everything. And now I saw a little while ago, Bernard, you sent that link, which I have been seeing all day, that the Bears are linked to Carson Wentz.
Oh God.
Yeah, we're not gonna get on this because we talking about the Super Bowl. So it is Bears banter. So we gonna at least kind of skirt
Yeah.
over some of this stuff. But
What
I heard
do you
that they
think about
linked.
that, Jay?
I don't know because y'all know me. I don't know because because the bottom line is the guy's injury prone. He is a number one pick. He was he was linked to the MVP the year that they won the Super Bowl because he got off to such a hot start. But I mean I'm not a big Carson Wentz fan, but I can say he will be an upgrade to everything that we got on our roster. I can say that.
Okay. I mean, anybody else have any opinions on Carson Wentz?
I got an opinion. First of all, what has he won? Carson Wentz is not, he doesn't strike fear into Aaron Rodgers' heart. That's what I'm kind of looking at. Carson Wentz is one of those guys that goes out there, plays okay. As a matter of fact, didn't he lose his starting position this year to Jalen Hurts? So
Yeah, the guy the Bass in the draft.
once again, so they just getting rid of their old luggage anyway, and at a higher price. That don't make any sense. Who is that?
What's up? Que paso, amigos?
Petey Weestrong.
Oh man. Hey,
What's good?
Not this homework, brother. Not this homework. Tell you. Whew.
Well, I would say I wish the Bears would pick somebody that they don't have to develop as a quarterback or somebody who needs to make a comeback as a quarterback. Can we just get somebody that's good?
That's a good point, Tim. That is a real good point.
Call it a comeback. Okay.
Right. We don't need nobody that's trying to resurrect their career. I was reading some stuff on Facebook earlier today. Somebody was in one of the Bears groups that I'm in. I'm in these groups because I laugh because I don't know everything, but I look at the knowledge of some of these people and they be talking about stuff. They talk, we still can get Cam Newton. I'm like, wow, really? Really, dude? Cam Newton?
You be better get Big Newton.
I didn't want that dude last year. I didn't want the dude last year. So what makes you think I want him now?
Right.
I don't know what like I say, we talking about the Super Bowl tonight. We ain't talking about the Bears. I'll be mad. We ain't talking about the Bears.
The Tampa Bay Patriots.
Right.
Hey, you know what? I just wanted to touch this briefly. I just see Andre, one of my frat brothers, just mentioned any QB is an upgrade over
It's an
Trubisky.
upgrade. Yes.
Untrue.
Yeah,
Foles
you
ain't.
know,
Not Carson Wentz.
Not
Carson
any.
Wentz.
Not any now. Not
You know
any.
what? You know what? I would say this, Mike. Well, that's an interesting point what you just said, because through 12 games, Carson Wentz ranked about 33, 34 out of 32 starting quarterbacks. So that's a valid point, Mike. That he played 12 games and ranked that low, that he didn't even make the top 32. Now I think more of his problem is right here, more than his physical mechanics. That's what the word is out of the locker room. So
we need a head case.
What? Yeah. he's not. They said he's not a proven leader. Nobody wants to follow him. And at the end of the day, when Jalen Hurts got the job, the whole team had banded around him to want to play for him. And that was kind of what you got in this situation with Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky last year. So there's no need of. We already been down that road already. We don't need to do that again. But Carson Wentz, no, thank you.
So he's weak, but he makes up for it by being dumb.
Hey, what's up, guy?
What's up, guy?
Hey, guys.
Man, not much, man. I'm out here trying to get here, and this dude almost sideswiped me, man. So I'm getting mad, and I pull over, and I see this dude back of the head. He want to fight. I'm like, all right, cool. It is what it is. I turn around, this busted screen, man. Dude swung at me. He swung at me 30 times and missed. You want to know why? Every time he swung, I said third mate. He just got out there left, man. But I'm here, y'all. Hey,
I just want to reiterate when I said that Carson Wentz would be an upgrade. He would be an upgrade to any quarterback that we got on our roster. Put it that way.
On the practice squad.
You know, I mean, what quarterback we got on the roster? Nick Foles. Nick Foles is the only quarterback that's really technically on the roster. So would I take Carson Wentz over Nick Foles? Absolutely.
First of all, he's not an upgrade over Nick Foles because Nick Foles won the Super Bowl.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Carson Wentz was on the team with him.
But Nick Foles was hurt. I mean, Carson Wentz was hurt. No, that's the only reason Nick Foles was playing. Carson Wentz was hurt. That dude was set. He was on the MVP type season before he got hurt.
What did he do the next year when they got rid of Foles?
Well, what he did the next year was they got rid of a whole lot of people, and their offensive line was bad.
Listen, the Bears need to stop messing with Philadelphia, Jacksonville, all these scrub teams, bringing their coaches in here and they players. Let's just stop it. Stop it right now. I'm tired of seeing it, man. We can't keep doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
They losing for a reason, and it's them same people. Now you're gonna bring known losers in here to keep losing? No, thank you.
The bottom line is with the quarterback position, like I said last week. You know, we could have had Dak Prescott. Now they talk about trading for Deshaun Watson. All these people that we could have had, that we should have had, we don't have them. Now y'all want to trade for them.
See, the only thing about Carson Wentz, if this conversation was 2 years ago, I'd like do it in a minute. But I was looking at his stats. It's like the last 3 games he had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. His quarterback rate, not to say it's a big deal, but only like 72%. So I don't know, maybe when he got injured, maybe it kind of affected him. Maybe it's just a scheme that Philly runs or whatever. But 2 years ago, I mean, he was ridiculously good. Now it's just like, I don't know, maybe it's just the cohesion or lack of with Philadelphia, but like the last couple of years, this numbers just
hey, gotta think about this. He's the worst.
I'm sorry about that, Mike.
Oh, I'm just gonna say he was the worst quarterback in the worst league in the NFL.
And I saw that.
That's all.
In the worst division. Yeah, he was. In the worst division. In the worst division, he was the worst quarterback. Yeah, he was.
I read this week that the Bears offered more than 2 first-round picks for Stafford. The Bears are so desperate, it's ridiculous. Anybody's name that plays quarterback automatically is associated with that.
Yeah.
That's sad.
They're like Bob
sad.
Avalinas. We can get him.
Because the Rams got a boatload. The Rams got a boatload for Stafford.
That's highway robbery.
Well, no, that was because of the contract, though. That was because of the contract.
Okay, he in the same division as us. Is anybody afraid of Jeff Goff?
Nope.
No, we own him.
Nope.
We his daddy.
Nope.
Hey, so Jay mentioned earlier that quarterback matters, and so when we look at the Super Bowl, we see one that definitely is going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, really, Tom Brady. Only reason he's not in the Hall of Fame because you got to retire and wait 5 years, but
not he don't. He might well just put him in there tomorrow.
Yeah, you could really put him down, but then you got Mahomes, who, if he stays healthy, I mean, I don't know how many Super Bowls he gonna be able to get to. I mean, maybe not 10 because you may not have all the same factors that exist, but this guy's 4 years into the league and in his second Super Bowl already. And I mean,
Bernard, I'm gonna tell you the difference there. Yeah. Okay. The problem with Mahomes is he's getting paid $500 million. You can't attract nobody else to play next to him. Tom Brady, as much as I don't necessarily like him, he always took less so that there was enough money left on the team that he could get somebody else that could play. You know, so that's long-term thinking. Somebody like Mahomes, they're gonna pay him so much. There's gonna be 35 cents left. They're gonna have to get. They're gonna have to get a bag of potato chips.
A bag of nickels.
And that's gonna be it.
You know what? You know what, Plank? What you got? To go back to that, when you have a great scouting department, you can go and get a Tyreek Hill in the 5th round that can change the face of the game and don't even have to pay a lot of money for him. If you look at his base salary, that he's just now getting paid from what he's been doing. But he wasn't. I think he was making not even $1 million a year. But they went and found him. Their scouting department went and found him in the 5th round.
And how much is he gonna be worth for the next 2 years?
And not only that, you talk about Tyreek Hill. Not only that, so now you talk about Mecole Hardman. All these guys. They find all these guys in the later rounds that actually produce. And the way Mahomes' contract is structured, they're going to be able to finagle that money to be able to keep that group together.
Okay.
I was just about to say that because you know what? I was going to put out that Lindblom math for you, Plank. You know what?
I'm scared.
E equals well, you know what? Mahomes strikes me as the type of guy, if you look at his lifestyle, I mean, you know, outside of football, you see guys, I mean, yeah, he bought the wife a Lambo, but you know what? Happy wife, happy life. But everything else, he seems like he's a pretty like humble cat. He doesn't seem like he's going out lavishly spending. He might even do like a Tim Duncan, because remember with Tim Duncan, they paid him this over-absorbent amount of money. And people like wonder where they're going to get the free agents from. He's like, okay, I tell you what, let's restructure the contract to where the back end is heavy. So now for these years, now you got an extra, say, $10 million, whatever, per year. Plus you got guys leaving and stuff, they'll be able to work it. But the second thing I was going to say, it was a guy at my job said something to me, and it just totally blew my mind. We talk about consultants and stuff. You want to get a good quarterback, it's the guy that's out there right now. You could pay him a couple dollars to come get a quarterback. I think he knows a little bit about it. It's boy, Mr. McCarthy. He knows how to beat the Bears. He was 19-7. Why not give him some money? Hey, what the heck did y'all do to beat us? And what type of quarterback? What do you look for in a quarterback? But
2 Hall of Famers back to back. That's what I look for.
Oh, you talking about Mike McCarthy from the Packers? That
one sucking Dallas coach?
Yeah, he's such a donkey.
Hey,
he's painted.
I need a real drink now after that guy.
I'm gonna be drinking caramel cake after that.
Yeah, but you know what? You take a drink on that, but you ain't mainlining from what we got right now. You be up there looking at what we got now. You be like, oh. I'm just saying, you know, even if it sounds like a shot in the dark, anybody that's got some type of experience as far as understanding quarterbacks that has a history of, I guess, either finding or working with great quarterbacks. Because a lot of times, it's like the reason why the Bears may not have been able to get a great quarterback is because they never had one, don't know what it feels like.
Right, don't know. Bears don't know what a good quarterback look like. Hey, let's look at some
They
of the
draft the hell of a
backstories.
linebacker, though.
Wait a
Let's look
minute.
at some of the
I want to
backstories
point
of the
out
Super
something.
Bowl before. I know we can't talk
got?
about the Super
What we
Bowl.
got, Tammy?
What was that,
Wait,
Tammy?
now I just want to point out something. I wasn't here last week because I had a taping, but I just want to point out the fact that I am the only person that picked Kansas City.
Yeah, you are. You
All
are.
y'all bailed on me.
Yeah, you are. You
I
are.
wasn't here last week, but I had Kansas City.
You are.
You
Yeah,
weren't
right.
here.
I
And guess
wasn't here.
what?
I had the Bucks in Kansas City, and it's playing out. So
And guess what?
I'm
And
just
guess
saying
what?
you weren't on the
Before we
broadcast. They all left me hanging.
even
Well, you
before
know
we
what?
get to our predictions, even before we get to our predictions, I still ain't gonna pick Kansas City.
no.
Hey, let's look at some of the backstory that's going on in reference to the Super Bowl. 2 years ago, Kansas City meets the Patriots. 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Kansas City meet the Patriots in AFC, right? AFC championship. That game came down to an overtime game. The Patriots win the coin toss, go down and win the game. Something happened in that game, as far other than just they lost the game. But the other thing that happened in that game was, there's a debate that if they had got the ball, whoever got the ball first was going to win that game. Both teams was hungry. And also what happened at that game was you don't hear about stuff like this happening too often. Tom Brady went and got the security guard after the game and asked them to take him over to the Kansas City locker room. And he went over there and talked to Mahomes and told him that he had a great future and he would be in the Super Bowl soon. And Mahomes said that was very uplifting to him. And for Tom to go out of his way, because the game is over, right? They're not celebrating that they're going to the Super Bowl. But a guy to come in your locker room to say, hey, now bring it forward. Now what you just said is looking you right in the face. So what's going on, Tom? So what y'all think about that story? I mean, that's an interesting story.
You know what? Here's the deal. This is what I've always said about professional sports. The has-beens and the fringe guys, you could talk trash to them and all that other stuff. But once you've reached a level of excellence and once you've proven that you have a level of confidence and you've showed that you've been successful, you ain't going to rattle that dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not talking about Richard Sherman and your boy Crabtree, where Crabtree thought he was good and Richard Sherman was you know what? But that's like saying now, I bet you one thing, you wouldn't see Richard Sherman have the same conversation with a guy like a Jerry Rice or T.O. or Randy Moss. Because you know why? You say what you want, do what you want. You're not going to get in their head. With Tom Brady's thing, and man, as much as I wanted to really dislike him, I like him a lot because I've heard so many different stories about how humble he is and different things. And you want to push for a guy like that. Him going over to encourage another guy is just passing the torch, man. But you asked for it, you got it. Let's see what you gonna do, Tom.
And you know what, God, and that's the thing about passing the torch, which is why, a lot of people don't like Tom Brady, or I don't know why people don't like Tom Brady.
Because he wins.
Because he wins. But that's the thing. I still say Tom Brady is a classy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he was battling, and when he was in New England battling against Peyton Manning in Indianapolis, he's always been a classy guy, and that's what I like about him.
Yep.
That's what I like about him. People hate on winners, and that's what people do. They hate on winners.
You know what? The thing I like about I've heard a story this week about Tom Brady that during the summer he was out there, doing construction and cleaning toilets and doing whatever. And he took that job on like that was a CEO's job. So he knew he wasn't going to be doing that for the rest of his life. But whatever job he did, there's honor in all work. That man is always prepared. He's always ready, and he can always beat you mentally.
Absolutely.
So why he's playing, if you playing checkers, he playing chess. If you playing chess, he playing 3D chess. So that's the difference with Tom Brady. And I'm sounding like I'm one of his fans. And I'll tell you what, this year I turned into one because I saw the difference between him and Breeze and his night
and Rodgers. All them guys. All them guys. You can't. I was listening to the radio the other day, and they was talking about MVP. Aaron Rodgers gonna win the MVP. Yeah, I hate that they vote for the MVP of the NFL after the regular season. It should actually go through the playoffs, because I'm gonna tell you, if the Bucks win this game Sunday, that guy's an MVP, man.
He on Jordan status.
Forget about the GOAT. Forget about the GOAT. This dude is the MVP. You go from one team to another and take them to a Super Bowl and you win it. Mm-hmm. That's the GOAT. That is MVP status.
But no offseason. That's interesting.
Can I interject with a caveat?
Caveat. All right.
As you guys know, I am one of the biggest Tom Brady fans ever, and there's a couple of reasons why. I followed him since he was at Michigan. He was the number 199th pick.
Yep.
In the 6th round.
This
guy was not supposed to make it. They selected him to be Drew Bledsoe's backup, and because Drew Bledsoe had an injury, he was able to get into the game. So what that story teaches you is that if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And so the thing that I like about him is that he makes everybody around him accountable, which makes them better. Did he do all of the plays to win all of those Super Bowls? No. But when they walked in, and I heard from one of the linebackers when they were losing 21-8, the guy said, I know we're going to get back in the game because Tom won't let us lose.
Right.
So when you think about all of that, and I've argued with people all the time because everybody, Joe Montana's the GOAT. Well, I was telling Nutty a little bit before this. This guy's played in 3 decades of Super Bowls. There's nobody else that has done that. I mean, this dude came in the league at 22 years old and is now 43. And he's still in the Super Bowl. I've joked on the show because Peyton Manning would have probably done more if it wasn't for Tom Brady.
I agree.
Tom Brady is Peyton Manning's daddy.
No, Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning's daddy. What was his excuse for not winning a Heisman Trophy in college? What was his excuse for not winning
I'm talking about
the national championship?
All of the best quarterbacks in the past maybe 5 years have all been in the AFC. Even this past year, most of the best quarterbacks are in the AFC.
Hey, look at this other story that's going on. I know we giving love to the quarterbacks, but we have something that's very unique in the Super Bowl as well. The 2 offensive coordinators are both black.
Yeah,
and they still offensive coordinators. That's
both black. Right. You got Byron Leftwich over Tampa Bay, and you have Eric Bieniemy in Kansas. Now, one of the stereotypes is you don't get a lot of black offensive coaches, because the stereotype goes with the quarterback, right? Do black guys really know offense, right? So you don't see a lot of OCs that are black. So we got that thing going on where we got 2 black offensive coordinators, and
Black History Month.
Another interesting thing, neither one of them got offered a head coaching job.
See, Bernard, with me, the math is just not working out on that. In a league that's 70% black, the guys that are playing 70% or whatever, and it's probably 4% coaches. How you always get all of these Johnny-come-latelys or guys that ain't never done anything get opportunities for coaching jobs? That's ridiculous.
I agree with you, Keith. I totally agree with you. But I'm gonna tell you something. Go ahead, guy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guy.
They recycle the same guys over and over again.
They
One
do.
guy moves well. And it's a lot of brothers that out there that's really good. You know,
Yep.
like, for example, you get brothers sitting out here like, you know what, I know the X's and O's. And you got a lot of these brothers that stay in a film room and go lights out and even have them guys like, man, I didn't know that. But what they do, it's like the good old boys club. And I'm not getting into the whole racism thing, although you know what the deal is. You get these guys.
I don't like you got into it.
The problem is, it's like a mantra, man. It's like when a guy goes out, it's like they don't think about us, guys, like a Bieniemy or something like that. It's like, oh, let's get Joe Bob here. Yeah, but he got fired. But you know what? He's been in the system. He hasn't been out long. He'll be okay. They keep recycling these same guys over and over, and guys like Bieniemy get a chance, and they do let's bring his name up, a Tom Brady, come up and say, you know what? I'm not going to let you down. And look at the brothers now. They're doing the thing, and what's going to be their excuse now? If for some reason or another they're going to go up for a head coaching spot, what are they going to do? You did great, but you know what? We're recycling. There was another guy that we had for the job. It's like, damn if you do it, damn if you don't, man.
Yeah,
Well, rumor has it. Well, rumor has it, and that's all I'm going to say is rumor has it that Bieniemy hasn't done well in his interviews.
So,
but I want to go back to Byron Leftwich. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Byron Leftwich in the next couple of years is gonna be a head coach somewhere. This dude, as a quarterback, he was smart. He was tough.
Really smart.
He was lights out. Byron Leftwich as a play caller, and he's actually calling plays in Tampa. Bruce Arians has handed that over to him. And Tom Brady has actually said, like, you know what? I credit Byron Leftwich for a lot of the success that we've had on offense. This dude is going to be a head coach in the next couple of years. Byron Leftwich, I'm calling it, is going to be a head coach in the next couple of years.
Hopefully.
You know what? In order to break that cycle, and I'm going to go back to this whole rock and roll thing. Okay, the Beatles came here. Right after Kennedy gets assassinated, they're like the best thing since sliced bread. They're like, holy Christ, they're coming from Liverpool, and they're going to do I Want to Hold Your Hand and all that stuff. And they get to New York, and they get on the phone and listen to the radio, and you're thinking, okay, they're going to request songs. What do you request? Let me have Pride and Joy, Marvin Gaye. Let me have Mark and Vandellas. They were giving all these Motown, Hamlet guys props. They didn't want to hear none of their stuff. All they wanted to hear is R&B music. And what happened was it wasn't like these people had just popped up. These brothers and sisters been doing their thing for a minute, but it took somebody like the Beatles to come out and say, one, they said, okay, well, this is who we like. And they're like, really? We're going to play that. And then you fast forward a year later when they had the segregated audiences. It was going on for so long, and the Beatles walked up and was like, what? You're doing 2 shows? It's like, oh, one for black, one for white. It was like, we ain't doing those shows. If we can't have an audience for everybody in there, and they put it in their contract, and guess what? We talk about Jacksonville, racist Jacksonville, Florida, like 1965. Guess what they did? They had an audience with everybody up in there. It's going to take one of them guys like a Brady to come up, and although we already know these guys are out here, the credible and doing a great job, but it's a guy like Brady to come up and feel like they were left with. I think Leftwich might be the next guy.
Hey, do we have a Black History moment here? Hey, guy, that's some good information, but I don't want to be negligent and not mention Black History Month. So, do we have a Black History moment here? Because Tampa defensive coordinator is Todd Bowles. So you have both teams that have the offense coordinators are black, and Tampa actually has their defensive coordinator black. So I wonder, is this a historical moment where the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator on the same team? Now, I know Dungy had a lot of black coaches on his staff, but I'm not sure if the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator were black at the same time. I don't know. Maybe
I'm a little wary of that, Bernard, and the reason for that is this. It's all how people position it. Okay? I remember when President Obama was running for president, and then people just started coming up to him saying, you know what? There'd be a great ticket with you as the second seat with Hillary, or you with the second seat against this other person. And he was the one that had to actually change the way they even looked at things. Currently in the NFL, what's happening is you got the language that people are putting out against Leftwich and against Bieniemy. Are that guy only completes, he only misses 20% of his passes. Okay, that's one way to say it. The other way to say is this guy connects on 80% of his passes. So depending on how you show and you talk about this person, that's the image that people come out with. If you always putting it in a negative tone, that's what people are saying. I was a little bit taken aback when they talked about Bieniemy didn't do well at the interviews. Okay, this guy has won what percentage of his games as the offensive coordinator? Do you want somebody that looks good in a tie, or do you want somebody that plays good in the game?
Right. And he's a former player. I mean, he's a former NFL player.
Right.
So, but the thing is, with this whole thing, this is a huge Super Bowl for Black history because not only, I mean, shout out to Bruce Arians, man. He has four key people, 4 key positions that are Black on his squad. The assistant head coach, the offensive coordinator, the defense coordinator, the special teams coach.
Water boy. I'm sorry.
But here's the other thing, too. He opened the door for women to become eligible to come into the NFL. So, I mean, this is huge.
He sure
and so
did.
even with the Bros, shout out to the Bros on the other side over there in KC. But even with that, man, this is a huge Super Bowl for Black people. Even though Tammy hating and going with Kansas City, I need to roll with the Black folks, man. I'm just saying.
Hey, with Black History Month, I thought that was something that we should point out. What's that, Tammy?
Mahomes not Black enough for you.
He's pretty Black to me.
He looks Black to me.
That's my homie.
I wanted to point that out. That also, what Tammy also mentioned too, that Mahomes would be the third, right? Because he was the second last year, Black quarterback to start in the Super Bowl. I mean, the previous one, if I'm counting right, was going back to
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, right?
Yeah.
Russell
And,
Wilson.
actually, Doug.
Russell.
Russell. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
Shout out
Apologize.
to the HBCUs. HBCUs.
Yep. My apology, Russell. But you know what? But that's
Steve Air McNair. Okay.
Air McNair. Yeah, you right. You right. All car.
A Black quarterbacks getting to, not trying to make it a racial show tonight, but Black History Month, we need to point that out though. As all those stereotypes that Black quarterbacks had, that you're seeing the Black quarterbacks become dominant right now, and making it to Super Bowls after Super Bowls. I mean, think about just a few years ago, Russell Wilson was there, and now you have, matter of fact, you had Kaepernick there a few years back.
Yeah,
so a lot of that stuff that do you just keep trying to move the you keep moving the how you measure the guy, right? Like when you say, hey, well, his interviews wasn't that good. How do you know how the other people interviews were?
Right, because they don't mention that. They don't mention that. They don't mention that.
They don't mention that. But actually, let's get back to the game itself. When you look at the game, who do you think is going to have, what's going to be in this game? Is it going to be the quarterback, the defense? Is it going to be Tyreek Hill, special teams? What's your take on that, Mike? What's going to be the turning point in this game?
Well, the turning point in the game is going to be Tampa Bay's defense. If Tampa Bay's defense can get after Mahomes, kind of break their rhythm, they'll be in the game. If they can't, hey, we'll be at the bar before halftime. if Tampa's D can play, I mean, you look at the other side too. Kansas City's defense is not that good, but they do enough to keep them in the game. Gotta love the Honey Badger, man. That's one of my favorite players. Man, he comes to work with a hard hat and a lunch pail. So, but Tampa's defense, that front seven, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be out there.
What about you, Plank? What you think is going to be a key point in who wins this game? Is it the quarterbacks? Is it the defense, special teams. I mean, a particular player.
Dude, Tyreek Hill is a blur. You know,
Yes, he
and
is.
because he's so good, he makes these second, third, and fourth receivers look like they are world beaters. You know, he reminds me what you're gonna start seeing after some of these second and third tier guys leave Kansas City for bigger contracts. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, this is a number one receiver," and you're gonna find out they're not. The difference is they playing
Good point. Great point.
alongside of
Great point.
Tyreek Hill, who opens up so much space. It's
Great
ridiculous.
point. Great point.
Yeah.
I've never seen a guy that fast that actually could play football. Normally, guys that fast really can't play. You know,
Can't catch.
Right. They can't catch. Like they're short guys. They're short guys. They can't catch. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they usually good. Guys that fast, they're usually good kickoff or punt returners, but they're usually subpar receivers traditionally. You know, and so that's why it always been like the Devin Hester type guys where you like, man, Billy White Shoes Johnson, you know, guys who are great punt returners that they tried to make into receivers because of their speed. But Tyreek ended up being that guy that actually can play
wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real legit receiver. I mean, he's a guy that he scare you when you watching him on TV. You're like, my God. Because he goes 100 every play. He's not like a loafer either. I mean, that guy goes 100% every snap. But Tammy, what you think is going to be the difference? I know you got KC, but what's going to be the important thing in this game that's going to make a difference?
So I think you have two great quarterbacks. So the quarterbacks are going to do what they do. I kind of agree with Mike. I think
What happened? I turned my head for 1 second. What happened? What just happened?
I think it's going to come down to the defense and them being able to put pressure. I think the defense on both sides being able to put pressure on, because you have two great quarterbacks that are, you know, that need to be contained. So I think it's going to come down to what the defense can do to put pressure on the offense and kind of like mess up their flow, so that they don't find the rhythm that they need.
Oh, that's a great point.
Well thought out.
Yeah. Hey, what about you, Jay? What do you think is going to be the difference in this game?
The difference in this game is going to be Antonio Brown. If this dude is able to play, you're talking about everybody on the on the Kansas City side looking at Mike Evans, and you got Godwin in the slot, you got Scotty Miller in the slot, and you got Antonio Brown one-on-one. Antonio Brown is going to be the difference maker in this game. If he plays, he's going to be the difference maker. I'm talking about 7 or 8 touches, 100+ yards, a couple of touchdowns. Antonio Brown is going to be the difference in this game. That's who I'm looking at.
Hey, guy.
Oh, I was doing the national.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, what you doing?
Jay, man. Hey, I consider myself. But you know what? I think the key to this game, because you look at these two guys, look at the passes they've come through. I mean, it's like not been easy for either. You know, they've made it and they've made the thing, but I just think that what's going to come down to are the second half adjustments, because they both know what they have. I mean, Tyreek Hill is like, if Tyreek Hill played the Road Runner in a biopic, Wile E. Coyote would be looking for a stunt double. But Brother Saylor said something that was interesting. He was talking about the receivers. He said, remember Willie Gault, because you've always had receivers that, we had some that had great hands like Biletnikoff, but he was like floored and watching paint dry. You had guys like Willie Gault, and you had guys like Randy Moss, who had great hands, had speed. They weren't necessarily the greatest route runners. Tyreek is something we probably only seen maybe a couple times in the history of NFL. Guy who's fast, guy who runs great routes.
I don't know if we seen it at all.
Did you say Willie Gault had great hands?
I don't know if we seen it at all.
You know what? You know what? How many drops did he average? How many times you see him drop a ball though?
How many times you see him catch more than 30 passes in a year?
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Gosh darn it! I'm trying to make a point. My point is,
I'm sorry.
but no, but the reason why I think is because Tyreek Hill is unlike probably we've only seen maybe one or two times in our lifetime a guy who, like I say, kickoff guy. He do kickoffs. He's a top receiver and he fast. You know you good when you so fast and you so good. You create soft spots for everybody else. Dudes don't even run routes no more. There, they just walk up to a spot and just do this. Oh, he does. I really think it's going to be the second half of Justice because both of them are pretty good. I saw Mahomes do that little shovel pass play that they got, which cracks me up, but it works all the time. Tom Brady's the type of guy, you put a blindfold on that dude, and he knows every route that everyone's running. He knows every play that happens in that stadium, offense, defense, on both sides of the ball. It depends on who gets smashed in the mouth first and what adjustments. But I just think the adjustments will come to it.
You know what, though? I'm remiss.
I love running, but I love to catch the pass.
You know, I'm remiss because we haven't mentioned Kelsey. That dude is for real as well. I think Gronk's on his way down as far as tight ends, but Kelsey he's bringing something to the game, so he might end up being a big factor in the game as well.
Well, he's a big factor. He's a big factor in their passing game. So I mean, that wouldn't be no surprise. I mean, him and Tyreek Hill are the the 1-2 punch for their passing game.
Yeah. I think the key to this game, as far as Kansas City's concerned, is making sure that they keep don't get pressure on Mahomes. But it doesn't matter because when Mahomes get pressure, he's so good throwing the ball on the move. I mean, he makes some throws from some weird angles that is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, and just the fact that he could see some of those throws, when he's making it is ridiculous. His vision is incredible. His vision of the field and where guys are at. I think offensively, Kelsey is going to be a key. Can the Tampa Bay stop him? Because they're not going to be able to stop Tyreek Hill. You're not going to be able to stop him. But Kelsey really is a factor. And can they force turnovers? Now, for the other side, I think the biggest thing is going to be offensively for Tampa is Gronk involvement and Brown. Those two are going to be real key factors because they have not been able. They didn't. I think Brown didn't play he haven't played in a few games, but when he's on, he's hard to stick. That guy, Antonio Brown, is a great route runner.
He's a great route runner. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was Tyreek Hill before Tyreek Hill because there's still nobody that can stick neither one of those two on either team or in the league. Nobody could guard neither one of them.
I did some reps on that guy. I was watching Antonio Brown just running some routes. This dude has not only the speed, he's looking at the corner, right? The corner's going, he's like, okay, in his mind, I'm watching, he like, I'm running straight at his left shoulder. He ran at his straight left shoulder, and the dude backpedaled, and he bucked him that way and went that way, and the dude did the doggone straight up split, man. Because he's just so fast, man. His route to Chris, his moves. That dude, oh my God, man.
It's nothing. There is nothing like a great route runner. I've been saying it all season. It ain't nothing like a great route runner, man. If you can run routes, your quarterback is gonna find you. And I'm telling you, if Antonio Brown is able to play in this game, because he's been on the injury list, which is why I keep saying if he's able to play. If this dude plays, he's going to be a big factor in this game. And not only that, I want to go back to something that Plank said. I want to say Plank said it, but we're talking about the defense. Tampa Bay's defense, if they can get after Patrick Mahomes with Sue and Vita Vea, with Barrett.
Yeah,
These guys coming to play.
that front seven.
They bringing a load. They coming to play.
Yeah.
They coming to play. So I like predictions. Of course, we're gonna get to that. But man, Tampa Bay is something to like in this game.
You can throw
I'll tell
that
you what,
KC
that's something
run
else to
game
look
out the
out for
window.
too.
Say it
The
again.
pace of the game is something else to look for.
Mhm.
Tom Brady. Now here's the thing with the Super Bowl, everybody into the commercials and the halftime show and all of that stuff. And what that really does is slows the actual game down so much that people end up lulling themselves into thinking that the game is going a lot slower than it is.
Yep.
Tom Brady is great at that. So he's got to do that this time in order to negate, Patrick Mahomes' ability to score quickly, because they can put up points in a bunch. However, if Tom Brady starts breaking it down and lulling them into thinking that they're losing a lot worse than they are, that's how he ends up pulling out a victory.
Yep.
You know what? Something I'm talking about too, which is interesting from what I've seen. You got to rush and try to get Mahomes, but there was just one guy who was basically one of these coaches for like one of the worst things that you could do. You can rush Mahomes. The worst thing you could do is blitz him. He was like, I was like, okay. So I started looking at some stuff. You got Hill, you got Kelsey, you got these guys out here to structure the offense, man. If Tampa Bay can't get the Mahomes,
Right. Because one of the things, when you mentioned Mahomes, you can't really blitz him, but if you put pressure on him, Mahomes does have a tendency to run backwards. He runs backwards a lot, but you got to get him down, because if he run backwards and you let him throw, I believe this guy could probably throw 50 yards on his knees. He can just flick the ball like with no effort. So you got to pressure him in that way. But one of the things I mentioned about Tom Brady, which is interesting, on one of the things I'll argue about when people say, hey, you could just put whatever quarterback you want to name, Drew Brees or something on the Patriots, and they won these many Super Bowl. I disagree, because Tom knows how to win, and Tom convinced guys on the team that they're gonna win. Somewhat like Joe Montana did. The guys in the huddle, when they talked about Joe Montana, one of the things they talked about him, they called him Joe Cool, was one, that they believed any game they was in, Joe Montana was gonna bring them back one. And how cool he was in the huddle. They was talking about even in one of those Super Bowls, Joe Montana would stop and say, hey, you see the cheerleader over there? Right in the huddle, right? Just to kind of like relax them. They're like, who? Oh, come on, man. Let's go win this game, right? And that means a lot. And when you look at both of these quarterbacks, their teams have confidence in them. When you have guys who are confident that you can win a game with you, this is going to be a tight game, I believe. When you look at how these guys talk about their quarterback, it's admiration for both of them. I'm listening to some of the guys at Tampa saying stuff like, man, I didn't even never think this was possible. I was just kind of playing football and hoping it happened. But when Tom came here, it was a different confidence that we could get there. So it's the same thing with Mahomes. So you're looking at the I don't know if we're looking at it at this game or not. When we get to the points and then we get to the prediction, we figure out. But you're looking at the old gunslinger. Well, he wasn't even a gunslinger, but the old guy against the new guy. But one thing I realized in this game too, as much as they bragged about all these new hotshot young coaches, it's the old dogs that are in the Super Bowl coaching these games, and not the hotshot 30-year-old coaches that all these teams. It's not the Nagy's. It's not the you can name it.
It's not the McVays. It's not the Barry Petersons and all that. Yep. It's the old guys. It's the old guys.
And you see that across. Not to be so long-winded, but you see that across all the sports. And if you think about it, even in basketball, the guys who are actually winning the championship in basketball are not your guys who just came to the league the last 5 years. It's the guys that's been in the league 10, 12, 14 years that are winning the championships. So Hey, y'all better respect your old elders.
Right. Give us some. Right. Give us a little respect. Give us a little
Right.
respect.
Put some respect on our names.
Why y'all looking at me?
I hated the Patriots. I hated the Patriots like I hate it. And it's a great thing seeing them crumble right now. But I've always never had a problem with Tom Brady. I've always rooted for him because, like I said, I remember some of my Peachtree fam out on the West Coast tell me about, oh my God, he's good. And I seen him on TV, and they interviewed him after the game in high school. I'm like, look at this little all shucks kind of guy. That's kind of cool. You know, he ain't like, his head ain't blowed up. He's a normal dude. Then you see him in Michigan, his junior year, he was lights out. You think his senior year, he's going to be All-American, all that. And now you got him, they doing quarterback by committee. And I know that messed him up. But when he came to the league, they showed this picture with some boxer shorts at the combine and looked at him run. He reminds me so much of like a Greg Rice or Larry Bird. Not fast, not the most talented guy. But I'm going to tell you what, if you're walking down the dark alley with 9 to 10 of your friends and he one of them, I would be shocked that if when y'all come out of there, he ain't one of the ones coming out with you because the dude is going to lay it out on the field. I respect him, man. Total respect.
Okay. So we know Super Bowls traditionally start off real slow. I mean, the scores are real low. Matter of fact, I think I heard one stat that in the 9, maybe Mike or Jake can help me on this one, but out of the 9 Super Bowls, for example, that Tom Brady been in, I want to say there's only been 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, something like that. What's the number, Jay?
Yep, it's 3 touchdowns. Out of all the, I think this is his 10th or 11th Super Bowl.
Yeah, 10th.
10th. He's only scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. He's only scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. But I think
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
I think Sunday though, this is going to be a high scoring game. They finna light it up. This is going to be one of the most enjoyable Super Bowls, I think, that we've seen in a long time. Outside of the comeback against Atlanta that he did a couple of years ago, which was miraculous within itself. This is going to be, I think this is going to be a lights out Super Bowl.
Who's on the halftime show?
I don't even know. My daughter just asked me that. I don't even know. I don't even care. My daughter just asked me that a little while ago. Like, who's doing the halftime show? I'm like, I don't know.
That's what we can do. We can go back to the old Janet Jackson one.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, we could just
Nothing.
like.
Hey, you know what? Other than before we get to the prediction, I want to go walk down memory lane with the Super Bowl. Other than Chicago Bears, which is my favorite Super Bowl, what else? Give me like 1 or 2 games that was your favorite Super Bowls. For me, one that jumps off to me is the one with Steve McNair. I mean, that Super Bowl to me, it kind of brought back excitement to Super Bowls because we had kind of came up to that point where a lot of games where they didn't live up to the billing. But that Super Bowl where McNair reaches out and it's like maybe a yard or whatever left for him to get a touchdown, and you like, man, can they spike it to get one more shot? But they had just used the timeout earlier in that possession. But for me, that's one of my favorite Super Bowls, and I guess the other one would actually be the Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. What about you, Tammy? What are 2 of your favorite Super Bowls?
The Bears.
So even though who said that? So I would say as a kid, one of my favorite Super Bowls was definitely when Washington won and Doug Williams won, and he was the first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Black History Month.
I would say that was definitely one of my favorites. I was excited. I would also say that even though we did not win this one, I was one of my favorite was Tony Dungy and
Lovie Smith.
Lovie Smith because we had two black coaches in the coaching, and even though of course I wanted the Bears to win, I was like I really liked Tony Dungy. I really liked Indianapolis, and I thought he was a classy guy, so I couldn't be completely mad. So that was one of my favorites, even though Lovey got chicken in the fourth quarter. We should have won that game, but whatever. And then I would say Cap.
Okay.
Kaepernick.
San
Okay.
Francisco.
Okay.
That quarterback was gross, man.
Yeah, one of our viewers said we getting feedback, so I'm going to my headphones. Hopefully that kills some of the feedback. And what about you, Plank?
Of course, I'm gonna go with the '85 Bears. I was in boot camp at the time, but they let us actually take the day off and actually watch the game. So, other than that, I like San Francisco against Cincinnati. Um,
Ooh,
in
good
that Super
call.
Bowl, you
Oh
know.
my God, good call, Keith. Good call. Yeah.
Wait, I thought the '85 Bears was a given though.
Yes.
Wait, I thought the '85 Bears was a
Yeah,
given though.
it's a given.
I
Yeah,
thought
so
we
you
were
got
supposed to give two other ones.
you got another one.
No, not really.
He's like,
Jeez. No, somehow I ended up hitting the YouTube, and I'm seeing myself. I'm like, what the heck going on? That's where the feedback is coming on. No,
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I missed whatever question you were asking me.
Oh, did you have another one? Because 85 Bears, we use that as a given.
Well, that again, Cincinnati versus San Francisco.
That was a
Okay.
good one.
That was really great.
Yes.
I actually like the one with Kaepernick against the Baltimore as well.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's the game where the lights went out. They kind of broke the momentum of Baltimore, and then Kaepernick came back like 40 going north. So that was a really close game, and it came down all the way to the wire.
Okay. Hey, what about you, Jay?
Well, like we said, 85 is a given. So, I ain't gonna even talk about that. I ain't gonna even talk about the Indianapolis and Bears because that's a given based on what Tammy said. Of course, unfortunately, the Bears didn't win. But I'm gonna tell y'all, one of my favorite recent Super Bowls was Brady against the Atlanta Falcons. Because if anybody that knows me, I always root for the NFC. Unless the Green Bay Packers are in the Super Bowl, I always root for the NFC. So I was rooting for Atlanta. And then when Tom Brady came back, I had a vision of, if I know all y'all, we old, y'all done seen Rocky.
Think for yourself.
Y'all seen Rocky when he was fighting against the Russian?
Rocky
And the
Johnson.
Russians was booing him, and then all of a sudden Rocky started winning, and all of a sudden everybody changed and started rooting Rocky. That's how I was rooting for the Patriots as they was coming back against Atlanta. I was like, I cannot believe they are actually finna come back. So that's one of my favorite Super Bowls. Outside of that one,
5'7" white heavyweight champion. That's what we doing.
I'm just telling y'all. To see the Patriots come back against the Falcons when they had such a big lead, it was unbelievable to me. And I actually started rooting for the Patriots. Like, I cannot believe this is actually going to happen. And outside of that, the Doug Williams Super Bowl was a big one for me. That was a big one for me because I was still in high school and I was still looking at Doug Williams like, this dude came from Grambling.
And see, I wasn't even in high school, so
I'm going to stop trying to age me, girl. So I was still looking at Doug Williams like he's from Grambling. How big is this? And not only that, he was the MVP of the Super Bowl. So those are my two favorites outside of the Bears Super Bowls.
Hey, what about you, Mike?
Well, that Jay stole my thunder because that Atlanta and Patriots Super Bowl. I keep telling you guys, I'm a Brady fan, and there has been a couple of my guys. We got this thing. It's called never bet against Brady. No matter what you do, you never bet against him. Something weird's going to happen in the game. Somebody's going to come up with a film or some of the other team or whatever. Whatever's going to happen, something's going to happen. And so we're all sitting there looking at each other like it was quiet in the room. We're just like,
Yep.
Maybe they can. It's 28-3. Gee. And all of a sudden, like Jay said, the momentum switched. But my other Super Bowl was the Eagles when T.O. came back and was in that hyper chamber. Man, you talk about some perseverance. I was like,
one leg.
Not only went out there and played, but he was gangster with it too, man.
Yep.
He just went out there and was like, yo, what's up? Throw me the ball, money. I was like, oh.
Yep.
He couldn't do that on me, though. He didn't do that on me. He didn't do that on me in college.
Hey, what about you, Guy? What you got, Guy?
See, now I got to flip the script a little bit because y'all used up all my thunder. But yeah, Rocky and Real Life outside of Hollywood, the announcers will get sleepy. It's a left, and a left. 3 minutes later. It's a left. It's real. But outside of those, I could agree with you, but just kind of for the show itself, the two that stood out to me was the 79 Steelers versus the Rams. Every time the Rams scored, the Steelers came back and scored, and just watching Lynn Swan. But my other one was the Giants versus the Patriots because they were undefeated. Everybody and their mother and father, they're going to win because they're the Patriots. And it was just making me mad. I like Brady, but I hated the Patriots. So this guy was like, either put up or shut up. I put a 50 spot on the table. He was like, this is the easiest money I made. When that doggone horn went off, I'm like, that was amazing because they were undefeated. They had a squad and they had Randy Moss. And I'm looking at the games during the course of the year. I'm like, man, I think they might run it. But like the Giants did, and not just get lucky, but have Eli Manning as the quarterback and be lucky, it's priceless.
Hey, he got two championships, so get off me.
Yeah,
you know what? I forgot about the Steelers versus the Cowboys.
And guess what? And guess what? Eli put that on everything.
Yeah, dude. But just imagine you got a household in your house. Your daddy trying to cuss your sons out, but he can't because your kids got 4 more Super Bowls.
Right. Daddy, what you talking about? I got championships under my belt. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, so we didn't talk about the quarterbacks. We talked about the coaches. We didn't talked about the defense. We talked about the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinators. We talked about the receivers. Now it's down to drum roll. Who do you have in this game? Who you think is going to walk away with the Lombardi Trophy? Just win, baby. Who's up first? We already know. We know. Okay, you Plank.
Okay. I got the final score: 42. 24. Kansas City.
Wow.
Break it. What?
Oh.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Plank.
Yeah,
I'm still
Plank against.
Wow.
Well, Plank going against recent tradition that there has not been a blowout in the Super Bowl in a while. I think the biggest lead you had was when the Patriots beat the last Super Bowl they won. I think. Oh, was it that?
The last blowout was when them Seahawks tackled Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning
He went to the locker room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when they resulted. That's what Denver resulted in all screen passes. They couldn't do nothing. Against Seattle that game.
Yeah.
I'll give you my prediction though. I give you my prediction though.
The Carolina Super Bowl was a blowout too, wasn't it? The Carolina.
Try to score again. Try it again. You're
Okay,
getting
Jay.
2.
I am taking Tampa Bay 31-24.
Let's go, baby.
Okay.
I can't wait. I'm gonna be texting to you all day, man.
Let me get this down on the sheet of paper here. So Plank has
42-24.
42-24.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
Jay has
31-24. 31-24.
Okay. And you got Tampa, right?
Tampa 31-24.
Okay. Who's up next? You want to
Let's
go?
put on Don Mike with that beard stroking thing he's doing right now.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Cause your prediction gonna count this time.
What's
That's guy. That's
Oh,
guy
you
right
give
there.
it to me? Okay, fine. Look, here's my last dime. 35-31. Heads is Kansas City. Tails is Tampa Bay.
A double-headed coin.
Tampa Bay, 35-31.
Okay, 35-31. You know what? I'm gonna go Kansas. I'm gonna go with Tampa. I'm gonna go Tampa 38-35.
Let me throw this out because y'all seem to forget to put some respect on my name. I won the regular season voting by a landslide.
Guess what?
Not a landslide.
What?
Guess what? Guess what? Regular season stats don't pay off. It's all about the playoffs, baby.
That's
It's
easy for
all
you
about
to
the
say.
playoffs, baby. I know it is.
Did you finally get to
I know it is.
500, guys?
I don't even think I got the
Hey,
500.
did you finally get to 500?
I don't even think I got the 500.
Okay.
But regular season stats don't count. Guess what? Ask Aaron Rodgers. Because guess what? He's gonna be doing the same thing we doing Sunday. Sitting on the couch watching the Super Bowl.
Double check.
Well,
Between Tammy and Mike, what you got? Who's up? Tammy or Mike?
I'll go.
For a caramel cake.
Okay, Mike.
All right. So here we go. I just told you guys a couple of minutes ago. A couple things you never do.
You're a Tom Brady fan. We know.
You never pee in the wind. You never go outside with an aluminum bat and lightning.
Don't tug on Superman's cape.
And you rather boo-boo on Superman's cape than bet against Tom Brady.
Ooh, this is glad to see itself.
I'm gonna go. I like Mahomes and what Plank said earlier. I wanted both teams to get there. These were the teams I was rooting for the whole playoffs. And so what I picked this game to be is a passing of the torch game from Brady to Mahomes. I got the Bucks 34, Kansas City 28.
Okay. So Tammy, you last.
Okay. Well, I got another I got another eagle here. I got my bestie here. He gonna give his prediction too. So, Charles, what's your prediction?
Hey, what's up, Charles?
What's up, man?
What up?
All right.
So I got to give a score too, right?
Yeah, give a score too.
Yep.
I think Kansas. Okay.
Don't make us wait.
How about Kansas? This
Come
gonna
on,
be
Charles.
a tight game. This gonna be a tight game.
We're gonna be waiting to the game. Come on,
Okay. So I'm gonna say Kansas 42, Tampa 35.
He gonna wait till the game over before he give his prediction.
Hey, I like that score. I'll take it.
You see, it's in the conversation right now. The Charles over there injured.
I put him on the spot. I kind of told him I was gonna put him on the spot. So I told him earlier to think of a score. He was like, "You gonna put me on the camera?" I said, "Yep." But we've been friends for what, 34 years, so he used to me. But anyway, y'all know I'm going
We
with
know you picking Kansas City. We know.
KC. Now I'm gonna say I respect Tom Brady on the field and his talent and his accomplishments. I don't like his politics, but I do respect what he does on the field. And I do like the fact that he got to the Super Bowl without the Patriots because I believe he is one of those players that should have retired with the team that he did all the work for. And I think
I
they should
agree.
have done everything that
I
they could have
totally
to
agree.
keep him. And I think it's a shame, but I think it's a good kick in their butt that he's there and they ain't.
And they not. I agree. I agree.
So I do like that, but I still don't want him to win. So I'm going for Kansas City, and I say 34-31.
Okay.
Very,
Okay.
very interesting.
Okay.
Hey, so let's do a quick recap. We have Plank at Kansas City 42, Tampa Bay 24.
Yep.
Jay has Tampa Bay 24, Kansas City 21. Is that right?
24.
No.
24, right?
What was that? What score, Jay?
My score was Tampa Bay. Yeah, 24. No.
31-24.
31-24.
Tampa Bay.
Thank you, Mike. 31-24.
Okay.
Okay.
31-24.
31-24. Okay. Mike has Tampa 34, KC 28. Guy has Tampa 35.
He said a dime seed.
At least it was a dime.
Yeah, we gotta get a little feedback here a little bit. I have Tampa 38, KC 35. LaCharles have. I'm gonna wait till the Super Bowl to
You
announce
sure?
it. 42-35 Kansas City. Tammy has KC 34, Tampa 31. So we have we have an even split here. One for hold on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we got 3 for Kansas, KC, and
4 for
well, at least on the regular broadcast, we split right up the middle, 3 and 3.
Yeah.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Well, but wait, no. I'm counting Charles.
Hold on,
Charles,
we got
he flipping it over.
Andre, what else you got? He got
Never go
Andre
against
got,
Betty Dre. All right.
never bet against Brady.
Never.
30. He got the same score as you, Mike. Look like 34-28. So yeah, we
Great
like to thank
minds think
everybody
alike.
who watched us tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch TV. This was
Appreciate
fun.
y'all.
Yeah,
Appreciate
really
y'all.
appreciate everybody who take the time to watch the show.
Thank you.
We're gonna see Sunday what happens.
Great year.
Man, I hate when football season ends. I just wish it wasn't cold when football season
Yeah.
comes.
Yeah, I know, right?
Man.
Yeah, because I look for football season, but I'm not looking for the cold weather.
Yeah.
So hey, let's see what happened
Like on Monday,
Sunday.
man.
What's that?
Like, us people who sort of have a propensity to be inebriated probably would not be available on Sunday. I'm just saying, Monday would probably be a better choice. Maybe we could do one back.
Yeah,
Hey, Monday needs to be a holiday. The day after the Super Bowl, nobody feel like going to work.
I know, right?
right.
I know, right?
Right. Hey, I remember a guy I used to work with, my manager. He's retired now, but every Monday after the Super Bowl, of course, he took the day off, and he said, "Bernard, I'm going to collect all the money I won." Right? So he was like, "Man, I bet here this team was going to win." So he would bet on both teams, right? And the one that he favored the most is where he put most of his money at, right? But he like, yeah, man, I walked away, and he come back on Tuesday. Always like, man, I'm about to pay this off. I'm about to pay this off because I won so much of the Super Bowl. But he took it off every Monday. He took. We worked together maybe 9 years, and every Monday after the Super Bowl was his holiday. If he didn't take no other day off, he took off Super Bowl Monday. So anyway, I'd like to
Hey,
thank
y'all see
everybody
me.
who was viewing us tonight, and everybody stay warm who out there in Chicago. Have a nice weekend, and see you after the Super Bowl. Peace.